Welcome back to Gushing Blood. So, this episode, new Candyman coming out, right?
Yep, June 2020.
June 2020. I love how the preview just starts with like some black folks talking about some scary shit and then some white kids doing some dumb shit.
Yep.
and then one black girl comes into the bathroom and ends up getting punished for the dumb shit the white folks are doing. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but I did. I found that really funny.
Yeah, we're excited for it because Jordan Peele is directing it.
Yeah. But interestingly, I expected it was going to be Peele and I'm like, Get Out, but no Jason Blum. Like, I'm kind of curious if there's like some beef there. I kind of want to know. I kind of want to know the tea with Jason Blum and Jordan Peele.
We're hoping that Jason Blum and Jordan Peele will become the new Danny Elfman. Well, he's music. No, not Danny Elfman. Or, that old dynamic with
how about
Tim Burton,
Russo and Romero, right? Or
Tim Burton and Johnny Depp, just like that collaboration.
Yeah, totally. But turns out not so much.
Jordan Peele. He went rogue.
They probably got in a fight. Like Jason Blum's like, okay, I found where we're gonna. Whoops, I hit the mic. I found where we're gonna shoot the movie, and it was like literally one 10-foot by 10-foot room. And Jordan Peele was like, okay, but like where else? And Jason Blum's like, no, this is it. This is the whole. Location. This is the whole thing.
That's his thing.
And there's the cast, and it's like two people, and one of them can't speak.
Yeah. I don't think they get over-referenced, but hey.
We talked about in other videos.
Yeah.
Jason Blum's whole formula is shoot in one location and have less than 5 speaking roles. And that's how he built an empire, brick by brick.
So now I rewatched the Candyman from 1992.
Yeah,
Kevin has never seen it.
I never seen it. I thought it was like going to be one of those. It's like seeing the previews. I think it was partially ruined by Candyman, Knocking the Boots, the MC from that time, who, by the way, whose album I just rebought, but like just a few months ago. But like, I thought the movie was cheesy, Like I thought it was more of like a...
Well, I think we both thought it was 80s to begin with.
Yeah, and it's definitely that vibe a little bit. Like I would say it's like, you can kind of look, in my opinion, at like... Horror from the 80s kind of ends right about with like Scream, I would say. Yeah. Even though that's not till 95, it's like the 80s genre style of horror continued on through the early 90s. But this is one of the last ones. But I thought it was going to be hokey, I didn't think it was even going to be like as good as like, the first Nightmare on Elm Street or something. I thought it was going to be super campy.
Yeah.
But it's not. I actually think I thought it was great, like if you like 80s, even though it's from 92, if you like 80s genre horror, like it's really good. The pace is much better.
It's not cheesy, yeah.
Yeah. It's not cheesy. The pace is way better than most of those
I don't remember
films.
any of it. I know I've seen it as a kid, like at 9.
Yeah, you literally were like, there's something about bees coming out of a mouth or something. Yeah,
but I do remember like the
Which
entire
is
movie.
true.
So it was worth rewatching.
I found it stylistically interesting too because it stars Virginia Madsen is the woman in it, and she was Princess Irulan in Dune. But before I even put that together, I was already thinking like, man, there's elements of this that feel kind of David Lynch to me, like Twin Peaks meets like Blue Velvet. There's all these long, like really long close-ups that are like very classic Hollywood glam, where it's like the light's coming across the face and the eyes are gleaming, but in a way that's like hypnotic and creepy, like Blue Velvet. And so even before I put it together that it was the woman from Dune, I was like, there's something, I said it, I was like, there's something kind of David Lynch about this actually, even though it's a horror movie. And it turned out, sure enough, it was, the spice, for the little joke for those of you who have watched Dune, Princess Irulan from Dune. So I think that was intentional. I think the director, Bernard Rose, by the way.
I guess that was the last movie of that era. Maybe Jacob's Ladder. It was kind of like that. Was
that 93? I don't know why 93 just popped into my head for that.
It was early 90s, and I guess those were the last of those kind of movies. And then Scream came along.
It was like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's like, And then
urban legend.
And then that was just a transitional period to Saw and kind of in Paranormal Activity, Jason Blum, and this sort of beginning of kind of modern horror, and also like
Blair Witch.
Oh yeah, Blair Witch.
That led into Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, you're right. That was like Blair Witch was like the beginning of like using different found footage and using different kinds of camera, film to accentuate things, and it was good.
Candyman was the last of that era.
I thought it was, what was great about it though was like a lot of those, the pace sucks, where there's like nothing happens for like an hour, and this one, not the case, you know, and it's kind of bold in other ways, like that kid talking about another child being murdered and being found with his dick cut off.
Yeah.
And like it being in a toilet is like pretty shocking for 1992.
Yeah.
And I also find it interesting because it didn't dawn on me until later, but I'm assuming that's supposed to be a reference to the fact that had happened to the Candyman. I can't think of he has a name in it, but I can't think of what his name is beyond the Candyman, like the actual human that existed before. I'm assuming that's supposed to be. I mean, that was like the classic move, right? Oh, black guy sleeping with a white woman, cutting off your dick.
Yep.
Someone's dick is getting cut off if a black guy sleeping with a white woman back then.
Yeah, it was an interesting backstory that he was a slave at the time. It was 1800s, but he was educated, and they found him with a white woman.
Well, he was like painting her portrait or some shit, right?
Yeah.
We just watched this like 3 days ago. I should be able to recall this information like accurately. It wasn't that it? He was like painting her portrait.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And they fell in love. I also like that the movie made a point of saying that they fell in love, and that it wasn't just like he slept with her and got her pregnant. It was like they fell in love and she got pregnant, and I am sure that Jordan Peele appreciated that as well. Yeah. But the remake seems a lot like the cast has more black people in it and less white people. There's a bunch of dumb white kids in the beginning, but other than that, it seems to be more centered on the black community, which I think is cool.
Well, the original took place in Cabrini
Greens in Chicago. And by the way, I want to mention, carefully you don't kick that. I want to mention that one of the things that is cool about it is there's a lot of on-location shots. It's not like a lot of those cheesy 80 movies like Hellraiser or whatever. It's like they're mostly shot in a studio, that one is like shot in a lot of like what seem to be legitimately abandoned buildings. Yeah. And it's cool.
One character, sorry, go ahead.
No, please. No. I talk so much. No. Say anything.
I was going to go a little off topic, but not really. Say anything else about location? No? Okay.
No.
There's one returning character from the original.
Well, besides
the Candyman.
Besides Tony Todd, right? Yeah. That's his name?
Yeah.
Who, by the way, was in a remake of Night of the Living Dead from 1990. I'm assuming that must be the movie that got him this role.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it.
But we're going to.
It's 6.9 on IMDb, which for like a horror movie is pretty good. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely gonna check it out. But Tony Todd, the only other returning character was Vanessa Williams. Yeah. But not that Vanessa Williams. The Vanessa Williams that's in Candyman. And it's from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. We're Brooklyn. Sorry.
Where Brooklyn at?
We're Brooklyn. So she's the only one returning. And man, I gotta say, she doesn't look that much older.
Right?
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Black
girl magic. She looks like maybe 5 years older than the movie from 1992. But I think it's good that Jordan Peele is like making it more about the black community. Given that the urban legend and the subject matter was so about the black community, it was kind of bullshit that there was like two black characters in it, one who dies and one who just seems like a crazy person, basically. Other than the Candyman, who's a fucking murderer.
Well, there's that little kid.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm not giving him enough credit.
Yeah.
It's been all of 3 days since I watched it. But I like that he's like kind of like, well, let's take a look at the other side of the coin kind of in the remake. So excited about that. But man, this is the perfect excuse. If you wrote off Candyman because it seemed hokey at the time, like I did, or like it was ruined for you by the rapper Candyman, who was like pretty hokey but kind of awesome at the same time. If you didn't watch it for those reasons, you should totally watch it. Clive Barker wrote it. Who wrote like all the Hellraiser movies.
And now that we've seen it, it's so obvious that Jordan Peele will do a new cover.
Yeah, it totally is. It's like
it's so up his alley.
Yeah, I mean, like a villain who was created because of white people cutting some dick off, because like a black guy slept with a white girl.
and they cut his arm off, gave him a hook.
They totally they didn't explain that quite as much why exactly they did that, like, did they do that or did he do that? I mean, like, why would you give someone a hook? That's a dangerous weapon, like what?
And the beast thing.
Oh yeah, the beast thing. I was expecting there to be more of an explanation about
the bees. Yeah,
about the bees. I think that's just like they use it because I mean insects have been used.
Well, it's called Candyman. They're like, well, I guess bees.
No,
honey,
I'm not following. Candy, bees?
I don't know, honey. Like, why is it even called the Candyman?
Wasn't there something about candy?
There was, because
something about candy with razor blades.
Rappers.
Well, yeah, what's the thing with
with
there's like candy wrapped with a razor blade in it.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's something with that.
I totally blanked on that scene. Dude, 3 days. 3 days. I think I got coronavirus or something.
Jeez.
I can't remember. There's something. There was something about that. Jujubes. Those are candy, right? Jujubes.
They are.
That you eat when you go to the movies. So that's kind of related.
No, I eat popcorn.
You don't eat anything sweet when you go to the movie?
No.
What's the fun of eating salty food if you're not like, speedballing it with?
I mean,
sweet?
now people are eating like a full meal at the movie theater these days.
Yeah.
They're serving barbecue chicken.
The
wings,
movie experience is changing.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid to eat something with bones. I mean, I don't eat meat anyway, but I'd be afraid to eat something with bones, like watching a scary movie. You have like a jump scare and just like chicken bone goes right in your throat.
I just need popcorn.
And then that's fucking it. And then that's like that turns into the scary moment for everyone. It's like you choking to death in the movie theater.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Hellraiser doesn't seem so scary compared to the guy who's
We should rewatch that.
Man,
Hellraiser.
I haven't seen Hellraiser in so long. I'm afraid that Pinhead is going to seem totally not scary anymore.
Cheesy.
I'm afraid that Pinhead is going to seem like one of those really cheesy, scary characters that you see when you're older and you're like, and it makes you laugh instead of be scared. Like, and that'll bum me out.
I watched it. Maybe as recently as 2002.
We watched one of them.
That was a nightmare.
No, we watched one of the ones okay, so that it's like everyone was doing the hospital thing at one point, right? So like, it wasn't Dream Warriors. We watched one of the Hellraisers that involved a hospital. Definitely.
It must have been the first one.
Was it? Maybe. I don't know.
There's no reason for us to randomly watch
those plots. Yeah, well, remember this?
I think it was the first.
At this point, we were like going to a video store to rent shit. It might have been like they had Hellraiser 3 or whatever, and like that was it. We're like, fuck it, let's watch it. I don't remember any of those at all.
Watching horror movies on VHS.
Yeah. That like tape quality, like the way like you get what's called
it helps make it scary, especially when you're watching 80s.
And like when it gets so scary, you run up and have to hit eject, and so like the tape pops out because like you're too scared. That probably never happened to you.
No,
she's not scared by anything. She's not even a human. I feel like sometimes.
Maybe not.
She does like never ever get scared. I've seen you get scared, or like start from something in a movie like twice ever. That scream from the backseat in Haunting at Hill House, which came fucking out of nowhere and was great. If you guys haven't watched Haunting at Hill House, it's great. I think it's Stephen King, right?
Yeah.
That guy's work is making so much money right now. Still. Castle Rock.
Yeah.
Oh man, Haunting at Hill House. He's got
Pet Cemetery.
The Outsider, right? On HBO right now. Pet Cemetery got remade. that guy is just fucking doubling it up and making it stack. He's printing
He made
money.
it off the books. Now it's time for the videos.
Totally. But yeah, I used to like run up and be like, I'd get scared and like it'd be like, oh my god, I need.
What do you do? Pop it back in and fast forward?
No. You cool down and you come back to it. Oh, whoops. You cool down and you're like, okay, now I'm ready. I used to go get, my dad had a British carbine, you know, like from World War II, because he was like, he had a musket too from the Civil War. Crazy, right? Just lying around. I could barely, that thing was so long and heavy, I could barely hold it up and aim it like a rifle. But the British carbine, I could. I would sit there and watch scary movies. And by the way, the bullets were like 10 feet away and totally not locked up. I'm sorry to put you on blast, Dad, but not a lot of gun safety in that house. And I would sit there with this World War II British carbine, you know, just be like, you know, like whenever I get scared, I'd like, you know, bolt action and I'd point it at the screen and shoot. And that was like how I'd power through the scary scenes. I'm not making this up. I don't even think you know this. I've never even told you this. Yeah. And there was like 30-06 bullets or something. They were like that big.
Jeez.
Yeah. Good thing I never killed anyone. I
know of.
I'm pretty surprised I didn't get curious and load it eventually. Cause like, especially because like me and my friends, like we'd shoot 22s and like, you know, Dan's brother's got some
Midwest living.
Dan's brother got some pistols at a swap meet and we shot those matching 25s like James Bond style. It was super cool. He like traded a mini bike for him. That's what you do at swap meets.
I played with sticks.
Jamaican living. Stick and hoop. Didn't you literally?
Stick and hoop?
You guys they literally do that in Jamaica. You know, like you see, like when you see the old days, like Victorian period, there's always like some kid with the one suspender running by with the stick and the hoop. They were doing that in Jamaica. Yeah. And she's a fucking millennial. Like they were doing that. Like she's like from the millennial generation.
They're still doing it today.
No.
Of course.
Really? Stick and hoop. No shit. I mean, I gotta say,
everybody's glued to their computer.
I gotta say, it always looked fun, you know. Like whenever you watch like Dickens or whatever, and someone runs by doing that, you're always like,
good times.
I'm not gonna lie, that looks fun, you know. It's like the cup and ball, you know.
Yeah. Like
Mexico style, like that also looks kind of fun, but not like the stick and hoop. That's definitely the headliner. Stick and hoop. Oh man. Anyway,
back to Candyman. You can watch it on Netflix.
The pace is great.
Are we gonna watch part 2?
Should we watch part 2? Yeah, there's like at least 3. There's at least 3.
Let's watch part 2.
I'm down. Yo, we gotta watch that Night of the Living Dead remake. It looks like
Jordan Peele should redo Night of the Living Dead.
Jordan Peele, I can't believe now that I think about it, hasn't redone Night of the Living Dead, except maybe because Tony Todd already did a remake, which by the way, George Romero was involved with. I looked. You know, Russo and Romero are credited with the script, but Romero is also further credited with being involved with the movie. Which you can tell, as I pointed out in other videos, because it doesn't involve, like, it involves dead. Like, that was his, when they split, all the Return of the Living Dead, all the Return of the whatever are the ones Russo made after they split, and all the ones that just ended in dead are the ones Romero made. But
I think so. The remake was 1990.
Yeah, and by the way,
that's enough time passed for another remake.
And there's a Candyman, right? I think from like 2013. I found on IMDb that was like was like not giving up a lot of details on that one. But
maybe there isn't much to say.
IMDb's like, hey, you know, I was raised. If you can't say nice things, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that was remade, and he remade that. So he should totally remake Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, we talked about this briefly in another movie, but a black protagonist in 1961, that's bonkers.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he's killed by white guys. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this for you, but if you're watching a horror channel and you haven't watched Night of the Living Dead, fucking shame on you. But anyway, like the fact that it's also a black guy who at the end is killed by like police or at least armed white dudes, like it's a no-brainer. And if Jordan Peele should remake it and have it be him getting killed by the police at the end while he's unarmed,
horror like
that would be fucking great.
That's a genre, right?
Man,
political horror.
Dude, I'm gonna write him a letter, like a letter.
Me too. I'm
gonna stamp it with wax and shit. You know, I'm gonna make a Gushing blood stamp and I'm gonna write him a letter and I'm gonna stamp it. And Jordan Peele and I are going to become friends.
I'm
Jordan.
gonna tweet to him.
Me and you, we're gonna make movie history. I promise you. But you're doing great on your own. I'm just saying. I'd love to get involved. Love what you're doing.
Are you gonna include Jason Blum?
Yeah, totally. He's got to sit in the back seat though. Like, I got shotgun. Jordan Peele's clearly driving. I get shotgun. Jason Blum's gonna be the guy who sits in the back, but sits like in the middle, so he's up in the front seat the whole time. Like, hey, what are you guys talking about? That's gonna be Jason Blum.
What do you think about the music for Candyman?
Jason Blum's gonna be like looking around the car, like, oh, this is a great place to shoot a movie. He's like, my next movie's
perfect
gonna
location, my car.
He's like, the next movie's gonna be the interior of this Lincoln. Oh man. Good.
Anyhow, the music.
What about it?
What do you think for Candyman?
Oh man, I thought it was really good.
The soundtrack. What do you call it?
We didn't mention that Philip Glass did the music too. Like that was further evidence that they clearly Bernard Rose was clearly trying to make a piece of art. You know, he wasn't just trying to be like.
It was very artsy, I gotta say, compared to like other horror movies.
It was not at all like, didn't feel at all like someone.
It was like real music.
I thought it was gonna be like someone's just trying to like turn on the printing press to make a little horror money. It didn't feel like that at all. It feels like someone who was trying to do something a little new, a little artistic with horror.
Yeah. At
a time when that was fucking uncommon, you know? And Philip Glass did the music.
It goes with the whole David Lynch feel of the movie.
Yeah, totally.
It's just artsy.
Totally Lynchian. It doesn't get, you know, there's no one like talking to a log of wood and shit like from Twin Peaks, but like it's not as out as that. But but the look of it, some of the shots, the cinematography is like that, and Philip Glass did the music, and it's not like Koyaanisqatsi. It's not like crazy shit, but it's kind of out there. And cool. And the fact that, you know, I'm sure they had to pay money for that. Philip Glass is a big swinging dick. Like they had to spend money on it. Sorry, my like finance friends, like they were like talking about like, you know, BSD. Oh, that guy's a BSD. You know, it's like husband and wife. You know, so it was especially weird that like they were both saying it. I was like, what's BSD? And she rolls her eyes. She's like, big swinging dick. Anyway, Philip Glass was a big deal. So for him to be like, they had to pay for that. That wasn't, you know, he was the guy who did Dracula, you know, right? So, like, they weren't like, and I mean, he's also Philip Glass. But, so they spent money on it, and it showed. Oh, Xander Berkeley from Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
He's the husband in it, by the way. The original Candyman we're talking about. You know, Gregory, that piece of shit mayor who sells him down the river.
Yeah, the former mayor of Hilltop.
Yeah, mayor of Hilltop. And he looks pretty identical, I think.
Well, I didn't recognize him at first.
Until he slicked his hair back, and then you're like, oh yeah, there he is. Totally him. But Candyman, watch the remake. I mean, watch the remake,
when it comes out.
But watch the original before the remake, because it's worth it, man. Someone set out to make art, and I think they did it. And it's better than most of the 80s horror movies, other than like the outliers. It's very good.
It's because it's 90s.
It's true. The early 90s is when the 80s got good, right? That's, like, that's when, like, you know, In Living Color, which still has sort of an 80s vibe at the very beginning. A lot of that stuff in the early 90s is like, you know, feels kind of 80s, but somehow better.
You're right, yeah.
Although there's definitely some suede feelers in Candyman, which roots it very solidly in the early 90s, because black suede feelers. Nothing says early 90s like black suede feelers. Who's with me? And starter jackets, but I didn't see any of those.
Yeah, well.
You got anything else to say about Candyman?
No, that's it.
Good for you, Tony Todd. He's had a whole career. And he is in the remake, by the way. We were scared because we didn't see him in the trailer, and I was like, there's no way Jordan Peele would.
That would be so disrespectful.
That'd be so disrespectful. And so I was sure he had to be in there somewhere. Anyway.
Unless he's dead, but if he's alive, to not include him.
Yeah, well, he's in there. He's in there, thankfully.
He's in there, yeah.
He's the other person other than Vanessa Williams who's in there.
Yeah.
All right, go check it out, Candyman. It's on Netflix. Oh, we should have mentioned that. We did?
I did.
Oh, you did. Nice, solid. That's what you're here for. I'm the color guy. You're the content info person.
I guess, if you say so.
I'm just the color commentator. Anyway, From Gushing, that's us from Gushing Blood. I'm already drunk. I just been pounding this wine on an empty stomach.
I'm sober.
But next, what are we doing? Oh, Asian horror films.
Asian horror films.
Oh my God, they're so good, and they always get butchered by America. Good. Except maybe one. We have one that we think maybe the American remake is better. See if you can guess what it is.
Yep.
Anyway, thanks so much for listening.
Till next time.